Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you from Charlotte's Memorial Stadium, where over 20,000 screaming fans have gathered for what can only be described as a very bad day to be Jim Cornette.
20,000 people, Tony. That's not a crowd, that's a jury, and Cornette's already been found guilty.
Indeed. And the sentence appears to be steel cage.
Inside that ominous structure, we have a 6-person tag team match. On one side, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum T.A., and Dusty's valiant valet, Baby Doll, collectively known as America's Team.
America's Team, fighting for freedom, justice, and the right to punch Jim Cornette repeatedly.
And on the other side, the diabolical Midnight Express, beautiful Bobby Eaton, and lover boy Dennis Condrey, accompanied by their loudmouth manager, the human dog whistle himself, Jim Cornette.
Cornette, of course, is a man who could start a riot by ordering breakfast.
This match is the explosive culmination of a feud that's been simmering for months, one that saw Cornette sink to astonishingly low levels, and Baby Doll rise as an unlikely but very motivated avenger. Baby Doll, known as the Perfect 10, was never just another valet. Originally introduced as Tully Blanchard's manager, she eventually had enough of his abuse and aligned herself with Dusty Rhodes.
Translation: she upgraded from jerk in a bathrobe to a charismatic man who sweats freedom.
By 1986, Baby Doll had become a fan favorite, firmly in Dusty's corner.
And that's when Jim Cornette decided, you know what would improve my life? Antagonizing her on television.
Cornette, armed with a tennis racket, a shrill voice, and absolutely no sense of self-preservation, began launching vicious verbal attacks on Baby Doll during interviews.
Jim Cornette, proof that microphones should come with a mute button.
His persona was engineered almost scientifically to provoke outrage. One might call it weaponized obnoxiousness.
Cornette crossed every conceivable line, hurling insults so tasteless they made the crowd's blood boil. Southern fans despised Cornette with a passion rarely seen outside of family reunions and SEC football rivalries.
They didn't just hate him, they wanted him barbecued.
Dusty Rhodes, who was also the booker, understood one crucial thing: you don't rush vengeance, you let it marinate. The boiling point came in the spring of 1986 during a television taping in Greenville, South Carolina. The Midnight Express ambushed Dusty Rhodes, and while Dusty was being held down, Cornette did the unthinkable.
He struck Baby Doll in the stomach with a loaded tennis racket.
Ah, yes, Jim Cornette, bravely attacking someone who couldn't fight back. Truly the heart of a lion. A very small, cowardly lion.
The arena erupted in pure rage. Fans were livid. Dusty was forced to watch as his valet was hurt, and Cornette smirked his way out of the ring.
Southern crowds love two things, Tony: sweet tea and revenge. And at that moment, they wanted Jim Cornette's head served with a side of hush puppies.
Which brings us back to tonight. A steel cage, no escape, no loopholes, and for Jim Cornette, nowhere to run.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the show because Karma has brought a front row seat and it's holding a tennis racket.
This was highly unusual for Jim Crockett Promotions, a woman physically mixing it up with male wrestlers inside a steel cage. It was unconventional and wildly effective.
White Hot doesn't cover it. This crowd wasn't just angry, they were emotionally invested in Cornette's downfall.
It's important to remember the historical significance here. This match was the payoff to a major storyline, a rare example of intergender revenge in classic 1980s NWA wrestling. The match cemented Baby Doll's status as a tough, beloved figure, and at least temporarily.
Very temporarily. She turned villain later that year. Turns out you don't need a 5-star classic when you've got a loudmouth manager finally get what's coming to him.
There's the bell, and wait a second, Jim Cornette is actually starting in the ring? The audacity! Cornette struts forward, puffing his chest out at Baby Doll. Oh boy, he's jawing at her already.
Look at Corny acting like he's Bruce Lee all of a sudden. He might be writing checks his body can't cash. Top Gun style.
Cornette is challenging Baby Doll to step up. This crowd is eating it up. Baby Doll isn't backing down. She's the perfect 10 and ready to throw a perfect punch.
This is highly unorthodox. Jim Cornette, a non-wrestler, a managerial provocateur, if you will, squaring off with a female valet inside a steel cage. Talk about breaking barriers, or maybe brains.
Cornette's waving Baby Doll in. He's actually begging her to lock up with him.
Oh, this ought to be rich. Cornette might regret those big fat cow comments right about now.
Baby Doll approaches cautiously. The crowd is firmly behind her. Listen to them roar at every move. Cornette is smirking. Uh-oh! Here comes beautiful Bobby from behind. Baby Doll caught him. Arm dragged by Baby Doll sends Eaton flying.
Ha! Cornette set a trap and it backfired like Wile E. Coyote's Acme Dynamite. Baby Doll just tossed Bobby Eaton like yesterday's garbage.
A beautiful arm drag, executed with perfect timing. She may be the perfect 10, but that was a perfect 10-arm drag as well. Eaton never saw it coming.
Cornette scurries to the apron and hugs the cage wall, already thinking twice about getting involved. Now Magnum T.A. officially starts off against Dennis Condrey. Magnum drags the woozy Eaton toward the corner and tags in Baby Doll. Oh, listen to this place erupt. Baby Doll is officially in the match. Baby Doll winds up smack. She delivers a stinging slap to beautiful Bobby. Just for good measure. The perfect 10 is showing she's got a perfect slap too. Bobby reels back, probably seeing stars and maybe a few little birdies circling his head.
It's like a Dallas soap opera slap. You could hear that clear across the stadium. J.R. Ewing would be proud.
Now Dennis Condrey, desperate and woozy, tries to bargain with Dusty Rhodes. He's on his knees, hands up, possibly begging for mercy.
In-ring diplomacy rarely ends well. Condrey might be offering Dusty a bribe or a handshake, but Dusty Rhodes isn't exactly a forgiving man tonight.
Magnum T.A. climbs to the top rope, or top of the cage. Magnum is perched up high, the crowd rising to their feet. Flying axe handle from Magnum T.A. onto Condrey. What impact?
He flew off that cage like Magnum's channeling Superfly Snuka. The ring shook on that landing. If Condrey wasn't seen double before, he is now.
Dennis Condrey now hooks Magnum. He's going for a pile driver. If he hits this, it's over. Condrey lifts. No. Magnum kicks his legs and counters the pile driver, dropping back to his feet. What a counter by Magnum T.A.
Incredible resilience. Magnum essentially squirmed free in midair. That's pure instinct and strength. Condrey hits the mat without Magnum, and Magnum saves himself.
Amid the chaos, look at Baby Doll. She's climbing into the ring. The referee's lost all control. It's essentially tornado rules now. Baby Doll steps through those ropes with fire in her eyes once, and she spotted Jim Cornette.
Cornette is the only one who hasn't been hit yet, and I do believe that's about to change. He's on the apron, frantically looking for an exit from this cage, but there is none.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, Jim. It's like the world's worst spa day for Cornette. Locked in with people who want to exfoliate his face with their fists.
Baby Doll storms across the ring like an avenging angel. She grabs Jim Cornette by the hair through the ropes. Cornette is squealing. She drags the wriggling Cornette into the rings. Oh my! Baby Doll just unloaded on Cornette with a flurry of slaps. Listen to this crowd roar.
She's slapping him silly. 1 slap, 2 slaps, 10 slaps. I've lost count. Cornette's arms are flailing like Kermit the Frog in a panic.
Cornette is stumbling, trying to cover up, but Baby Doll keeps dishing out those right hands. She has literally slapped Cornette from one end of the ring to the other, and Dusty and Magnum have the Midnight Express under control in the corners. This is bedlam.
This is better catharsis than the end of Rocky. Cornette's getting his bell rung by a woman he called every name in the book. I guess Perfect 10 also refers to the 10 fingers she's imprinting on his face.
Baby Doll winds up, huge right hand to Cornette's jaw. She put her hips into that one, and Cornette goes down like a sack of potatoes.
I think Baby Doll's fist may have actually missed by a country mile, but Cornette's reacting like he got hit by a freight train. Talk about selling it. I haven't seen acting that dramatic since Dynasty went off the air.
Cornette is out cold, or at least he's pretending to be. Either way, he's down. Baby Doll drops to her knees and covers Jim Cornette. The referee finally slides in. The crowd is on their feet. Here's the count. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Baby Doll pins Jim Cornette for the victory.
What a finish. Jim Cornette, flattened by Dusty's valet. Talk about eating a hearty slice of humble pie. This capacity crowd has erupted in thunderous approval.
I've never seen Cornette look more pathetic. Flat on his back, clutching his jaw, maybe wondering if anyone got the license plate off the truck that hit him. Newsflash, Jim, it was Baby Doll's right hook.
In all my years, I've seldom heard a reaction like this. Cornette's comeuppance was the catharsis these fans craved. They're as loud as if Ric Flair had just lost the title, perhaps even louder. It's pure jubilation mixed with laughter at Cornette's expense.
Somewhere Mama Cornette's going to have to console her baby boy with a bag of ice and a gallon of Ben & Jerry's. Maybe hire him a bodyguard with better cage ethic strategies next time.
Ha! Big Bubba Rogers was at ringside, but even he couldn't help Cornette tonight. The cage did its job. Cornette was locked in, and justice was served.
Let's not forget to credit Dusty and Magnum as well. They did the heavy lifting, softening up the Midnights. But Baby Doll struck the decisive blow. She proved tonight she's more than just a valet. She's one tough lady who can hold her own in a fight.
Absolutely. In just 8 wild minutes, we saw blood, brawling, and the loudest crowd reactions of the night. The pacing was frenetic. They crammed a lot into a short match, and the energy never let up. Some might say it was more spectacle than wrestling clinic, but boy, did it deliver what it promised.
It was like a roller coaster, short but exhilarating. Sure, the big knockout punch from Baby Doll might not win any awards for technical precision. It may have missed by a foot. But who cares? The fans ate it up. Sometimes pro wrestling is about the story and the emotion, and this had both in spades.
Cornette's over-the-top physical comedy, flailing arms, high-pitched screams, added a touch of humor amidst the violence. He's perhaps the only man who can turn getting slapped senseless into a vaudeville act. It was equal parts brutal and comical.
What a match and what a moment at the Great American Bash. Fans will be talking about Baby Doll decking Jim Cornette for years. It was messy, it was chaotic, it was hilarious. A perfect slice of classic 80s pro wrestling fun.
Quite so. This had all the elements of classic mid-Atlantic wrestling. A heated feud, larger-than-life characters, crowd participation at a fever pitch, and a satisfying payoff. As corny as it sounds, nights like this are why we love this sport. On this night, justice prevailed inside that steel cage. The villains bled and blundered, the heroines stood tall, and the fans went home happy. It was truly the Great American Bash in every sense, and Jim Cornette just got bashed greatly, American style,